So Prince William and Prince Harry are about to reunite for the unveiling of a Princess Diana statue at Kensington Palace Thursday. Now, a lot is already being made of the fact that Kate Middleton and Prince Charles will not be in attendance. So, I mean, do you think there's rumors about there's been a strain on Will and Harry's relationship? Omid, do you think this is going to help bring the boys back together again?
I think physically it brings them back together, but what we don't know, what hasn't been announced by the palace yet officially, is that this is just a 30-minute engagement. So it's a very brief appearance for William and Harry. And of course, poor Harry's been stuck in quarantine for the past 3.5, 4 days now. So he hasn't even been able to see anyone, even if he wanted to. So it's going to perhaps be a little bit awkward, but there will also be two cameras there, one representing British TV and one representing overseas press. And so every moment will be captured. We'll no doubt be analysing it. And I think this will be the one time that we see William and Harry put all of their differences aside because they really want the focus to be on their mum. And it's 30 minutes. I'm sure they can manage that.
But do you think they're going to try to carve out time outside of that 30 minutes to talk?
It'll be interesting to see. Of course, there are other family members present. Diana's two sisters, her brother will be there, as will former aides that have worked on this statue for some time now. You know, it was announced in 2017. So there are a number of people involved. It won't be the setting for a personal discussion. And of course, we know that William and Kate have got busy engagements throughout the week. Kate's got a Wimbledon appearance. So time will tell. Harry is flying back to the US pretty quickly after this. So if there is going to be that moment, someone's going to have to grab it pretty much as soon as this engagement finishes.
You know what, Omid, you mentioned putting aside differences and, you know, only focusing on the reason that they're there. And yet that doesn't seem to be the preoccupation of the tabloid media, the royal media in the UK. They seem to be fixated on this feud, maybe even fueling it. Why do you think that I can't imagine that the royal family wants this to be the headline. So, you know, what's going on behind the scenes where they're not shutting down these reports and kind of who's feeding these reports? Where are all these reports coming from?
Yeah, you know, this is when that never complain, never explain mantra hurts the royal family, because the reports that we're seeing at the moment coming out of London aren't making Prince William look very good. He's made disparaging comments about Meghan. He's also made comments about his brother that have appeared in the pages of the Daily Mail and other newspapers. I don't think either of them are paying any attention to that. Both of them know how the press works in this. And so despite how inflamed everything seems right now, from what I understand from sources, it's just a case of two brothers keeping a distance. So there isn't that sort of like boiling point anger there that the papers have depicted. Of course, they want it to be a soap opera. They want it to be the sort of showdown, the battle of the brothers. But it's really not the case. And if anything, this has kind of tempered the situation because they have had to communicate in some capacity in the build up to this.
Omid, do you make anything of sort of the suggestion in the press that there are nefarious reasons why Charles and Kate won't be there? Or is that just, are there just simply practical reasons? Like you said, this is a 30-minute ceremony with just limited family and the people involved with making the sculpture. Or, like, do you think that they might not be going, as I do, maybe because they have good intentions? Maybe Charles just doesn't want to draw attention, and maybe Kate is thinking, you know what? Meghan can't be there, and I don't want to, you know, what's that expression? Stack the deck, so to speak, on William's side. So it's just William and Harry going. Thoughts?
Yeah, you know, this originally was supposed to, you've got that all mapped out. This was originally going to be a 100 guest event. It was going to be a large reception celebrating her life, the work that she did. There were going to be charity representatives and, of course, spouses, because, of course, when it was planned in 2017, there was no pandemic, and certainly Meghan wasn't really on the scene, or we certainly didn't know when she was due to give birth. Of course, she's still postpartum. She's looking after baby Lily at the moment. And so it was sort of decided amongst the group of them that it would be best that if it was just the brothers and, of course, some of Diana's closest family members, But as for Charles, I think we're being quite kind there. He has really avoided most Diana memorials and commemorative events. His association with her life is not one that was particularly positive. And so I think for everyone involved, including the brothers, it makes the most sense that he keeps his distance, pandemic or no pandemic.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Omid, because many years ago when I was there, and over many years since Diana's passing, I was always astounded that there was no official memorial either paid for or supported by the royal family in Diana's honor. In fact, I went there a few years ago and I visited Kensington Palace and I visited the Sunken Garden. It's absolutely beautiful. And at the time, this was the only royal thing that was supported by the royal family in honor of Diana. And this was only, what, 3 or 4 years ago. So I remember prior to that, and correct me if I'm wrong, Omid, the only thing I had seen in London proper that was commemorating Diana's existence at all was inside Harrods, because Dodi Al-Fayed's family owned Harrods, at least at the time. And I remember coming down an escalator and seeing this beautiful memorial to Diana and Dodi, and I thought, this is all I've seen in London commemorating that Diana was even alive here. And so the fact that this is only 5 years in the making, I think I totally understand why Prince Charles is staying away, because of the exact reason that you said. And this is the first she would have been 60 on July the 1st. And this is the first thing. How long has she been sadly passed for? The only place you can go and visit her is, as you know, is her childhood home in Althorpe, which I also visited. It's a very quiet, serene place. You can see her final resting place. That was all paid for and put together by her brother, not the royal family. Yeah. All the money behind all of this has nothing to do with the royal family. It's almost as if she didn't exist. So this is fascinating to me and not surprising at the same time.
By the royal family? I understood that Elton John and David Furnish are contributors. I don't know who else is, but you're right, Mel. I mean, I know everyone's going to be watching the brothers and they're going to be trying to dissect every little move that they make. For one, I might be the only person on this panel. I'm interested to see what the actual sculpture looks like.
Yeah, me too.
I really am. Just gonna put that out there. Like, you know, Diana, she was famous for her beauty. She was famous for her fashion sense. We know that this was a beloved place to her where she went to think and, you know, be calm. So I'm just curious, like the choices that the sculptor would have had to make, you know, what is she wearing? Is she standing or sitting? For me, I'm gonna be looking more for those things than the drama between the brothers, but I might be on my own.